Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. Is there a position group that you're looking at for the New Orleans Saints here that they may be exploring in the combine?
I know people aren't going to like this. We've mentioned it a few times. It's offensive tackle. They need somebody because with, Trevor Penning not playing well, Ryan Ramczak's knee, Andrews Peter free agent. I mean, they're running out of offensive linemen. They have to fill that void at some point in time, not just for now, it's for the future because of Ryan Ramczak's knee. So as much as, they've been drafting an offensive and a defensive lineman in the first round in 8 of the last 9 drafts, it may be happening again. It may not happen in the first round because I've said it's a deep draft when it comes to tackles, but I think at some point in this draft, whether it's the first or the second pick, you've got to draft an offensive tackle for the future.
Is your confidence in Ireland and Loomis and Dennis Allen wavering after the last 4 first-round picks with Penning and Turner and Davenport and outside of Olave? It's been a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, I mean, naturally it should be. They've missed. They have absolutely missed on those draft picks. There's no hiding it. They haven't been able to develop those guys into what they thought they were going to be. Davenport had an awesome rookie year, fell off after that. We'll see with Brian Brzee. At least he's productive in his rookie year. He stayed healthy, and you hope that he can continue to climb in the ranks and be productive for them. But that Trevor Penning one, it stings. It stings as much as giving up the first to go up there and get Marcus Davenport because at least he played. Penning can't even sniff the field, and that's a problem whenever you give up a pick to draft an offensive lineman who can't sniff the field. So, yeah, I mean, I think the criticism is valid. It's validated. I mean, it has to be there. I mean, you have to give them a little heat because of those picks that have absolutely been a bust so far.
This relative athletic score that the Saints prioritize, or certainly did during the Sean Payton era, it goes for big guys that have a lot of athleticism, which that sounds really obvious. Oh, big guys that can move, yeah, that's who you should get. But it's something they've stuck to over the years, and I'm starting to look at some of these big guys they've drafted early and go, well, do we need to maybe change up the approach here a little bit?
Yeah, I do. I see the whole thing with Jeff Ireland, the way he drafts is, you're right. It's not really the athletic guys. It's like they want strong guys. They want strong guys who are who can dig down into the trenches and get the job done. But it isn't working. So at some point you do have to switch that philosophy. You might say Trevor Penning's athletic. Yeah, a little athletic, but I think the whole drafting process has been draft strong and not athletic and fast. Today's game is athletic and fast. So they have to, catch up with the times and go athletic and fast because big and strong isn't necessarily going to get you on the field and get you where you want to be. So I would like to see them maybe change that draft philosophy and maybe, having Kubiak in the building and his offensive staff will kind of sway them a bit, and they have, better drafts and better production out of their draft picks. So I would like to see them do what other teams are doing, like the Ravens, who have been successful drafting players. You find guys who can, who are athletic and versatile, who can do a lot of things.
What about Jared Verse? That's a name I've seen attached to the Saints a little bit. Edge rusher, Florida State, maybe the heir apparent to Cam Jordan. Would the draft pick of Isaiah Foskey make you shy away from that because you're hoping that he comes on, or is that a guy you can't count on, so you would draft a rusher? Like, where do you stand on the Saints on the edge outside of Granderson, and obviously you've got an aging Cam Jordan?
Yeah, look, I like him. I like Jared Verse. I don't know if he's going to be there, but I like him. I wouldn't shy away because of what they did with Foskey. I would be more shying away if, they're drafting a guy who is a project player who's got a lot of injuries. Foskey really wasn't injured. I just think he just couldn't develop in year one. And it's a miss. It's a miss so far. It's to be determined with Foskey. When he got on the field, he just flashed a couple of times and with the defensive line off the edge, but got to see more if you're going to spend a pick that high on him. But I would not shy away if Garrett Verse was sitting at number 14. He's near double-digit sacks last year. I mean, that guy he's a speed edge rusher. He's got power and he's got size. I mean, he's, I think, around the 260 range, 6'4", 6'5", 260, which fits. It fits to build for today's football. So you run up there and you draft him if he's on the board. I mean, absolutely. That would be a good pick for this defensive line.
I think we've talked about this. Sometimes I confuse my conversations with you and with Luke, but Brian Thomas Jr., does that excite you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'm not trying to be a homer here because I went to LSU, but Michael Thomas is out the building.
Yeah.
You need somebody else who can help, get the ball down the field. He's 17 touchdowns, led the country in touchdown receptions. I think he started to play better at all levels last year, and his stock grew tremendously as the year went along. You watch it with your eyes, not just deep balls. He can catch over the middle. He can do the intermediate routes. I like him. I like him a lot. Gives you the speed, the size, and when you get into the red zone, you feel pretty good about him. Both guys, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. Obviously, Neighbors won't be there, but you can't pass on Brian Thomas if your other guys are off the board. You got to give Derek Carr some other playmakers. You got to give Kubiak something to work with.
What about linebacker? Damari Davis has been such a stronghold there, but I said last week I thought it was time for Zach Bond to move on and find a fit outside of Dennis Allen's defense that maybe utilize him a little bit more differently. And then you start to look at what they've got, and it's a little bit of a thin room.
Yeah, Pete Werner, and then where do you go from there? That becomes the question. Like, where do you go from Pete Werner and of all of the undrafted guys they have on their roster? Do you try to go find someone in free agency with some of the money you hope to accumulate because everything went up and the salary cap went up? You're trying to chip down away on your salary cap at the same time, or do you do a draft at some point in the draft? I just don't know how deep the draft is with linebackers this year. I mean, Jeremiah Trotter. I mean, how high does he go? I mean, it may not be that deep of a draft when it comes to linebackers. That's going to be the big question. Yes, you eventually have to replace him at some point in time. How much longer can he play? That also becomes, the next question. He says he wants to play as long as LeBron plays, plus more. Realistically, I don't think that's possible because NBA and NFL
a little different.
But yeah, look, I mean, they need a middle linebacker. Trotter's not the biggest of guys. What about Edgerrin Cooper, if he's still out there? Junior Colston from, Michigan. I'm just looking at lists of guys, that I've been just looking at when it comes to the mock drafts or even drafts. I mean, there are guys out there. I mean, Dallas Turner's a little bit different. He's an edge rusher, but you got to eventually find someone that you can get in the door that can play middle linebacker. I mean, yeah. At some point in time, Hunt. I don't know when. I don't know how much longer DeMario can play.
Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.